their coach on the sideline, and then able to get back up to the line. So Brendan Keelan still looking for that play. He's got a running back to his right along with a tight end. 2 wide receivers split on the near right side of the field, one by himself on the left. Keelan takes the snap, rolls right, stepping up around the 50-yard line where he's mobbed by Cardinals. And there's DJ Green Bay with a sack, had some help by Austin Manicky. And that brings up 4th down and 9 yards to go for Grant as the time will tick out on this first quarter. 8-0, Big Rapids leading Grant. We'll step aside here for 30 seconds, and we'll be back with more coverage here on Big Country 100.9.
Hey, folks. It's your favorite announcer, Harry Carey, with Sam's Disposal. I just wanted to remind you that Sam's Disposal is the area's leader in garbage service. Hey, they have flat rates and no contracts with no hidden fees. Call Sam's today at 796-2952. Cubs win. Cubs win. Hey, everybody. I heard the moon was made of Swiss cheese.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 830.
First quarter in the books, only 8 points scored. But fortunately for the Cardinals, they're able to get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion on the arm of sophomore quarterback Will Strickler. A pass from him to Jamal Strickland for the touchdown, and then a very pinpoint pass on a slant to Austin Venix for the 2 points.
That's just my favorite play so far of this game. Will just stepping up, using his legs, and firing a ball into a keyhole for the 2 points. And that's always big, too. You get those 2 points, so now you're potentially 2 scores up. You keep adding 8 points. That adds up pretty quickly. So that's pretty big for the Cardinals in that first quarter to get on the board like that. And now, this defense is just, man, DJ Green Bay is I'd say he's got about 6 or 7 sack lunches in his belly right now. He's just crunching this offensive line.
4th and 9 from the Big Rapids 49, and that is where Grant will decide to punt. The snap and the kick is away. Prince back to field again, and that will go out of bounds at the 19 or the 18-yard line. That's where Big Rapids will take over on just their 3rd drive of the game. Now, they had a drive that ended in a Will Strickler interception early on. They came back, had just 5 yards to go to get into the end zone after the fumble, and now they're here after another punt by Grant. Have to imagine there's some confidence behind Will after that last touchdown, and really the rest of this offense for being able to move.
Oh, yeah, and you saw him running off the field. And the best thing about it, too, is you not only do you see him pumped running off the field, but you see every other guy on that sideline was running up, doing the Walter Payton high five. That's my jersey, and stuff like that. So, it's good camaraderie on this team. A hard count here.
Hard count from Will that nearly got the Grant defense to go off sides. Now he looks back for the play call from Coach Seltzer. Takes a snap. It's a read option. Handoff up the middle. Will go for a few yards. Gets him close to the 20-yard line. And brings up 2nd down and about 7 to go. So 11:42 on the clock in the second quarter. It's an 8-0 Cardinals lead over the Tigers. And this game really coming up to this week because of the cases that Grant had, not knowing if this was going to go under as smoothly as it has. Really no hiccups this week. Both teams were under the impression they were playing this game. Both teams prepared for this game. Now, Grant, with some of the restrictions, having a couple less of those actual practices, maybe some virtual things there between their players, as it looks like there is a Big Rapids Cardinal coming off the field slowly, and that is Jack Cooley. No. He had an injury last week, or should say went down for injury last week. And talking to Coach Seltzer, he said his knee popped, was just a little scared, came back, got it checked out by the training crew that does a phenomenal job for Big Rapids. Said he was okay, came back in and played the rest of that game and did a great job. Called his name multiple times, but now we see him coming off the field walking just a bit slowly and hoping that it's nothing more than cramps.
Yeah, and it's always good when he walks off on his own power, not even a hand from trainer Jess or anything.
So now Strickler Gets his offense up to the line, and the gun has a running back to his right. Takes a snap looking left, and he's brought down in the backfield. There's a sack, and equal emotion coming from that Grant defensive line. That's a big tackle there by the Tigers.
And Will just looked a little bit indecisive. Almost like a broken play from the get-go. It looks like, oh, that's Jamal. Sorry, I thought for a second I thought Cooley was coming back in, but it looked like Grant Kidder checked in for him. Grant was limited at the beginning of this week, I believe, with an ankle or knee. I don't know what. He's got to spray some water on it, get out there. He'll be fine. Hold on to the ball.
And it looks like they're checking out that right ankle for Cooley as he's on the sideline right now. 10.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Strickler up to the line, takes the snap, handoff up the middle, and there's a run that goes for a few yards across the 15. And they'll mark him down at about the 17-yard line. That brings up fourth down for Big Rapids. So still an 8-0 lead. Need a good punt here to try to flip some field position. So in a spot where usually you'd see Sam Alley back there along with Justin Gorchevich. Well, Gorchevich is still out there, but not Sam Alley. Tough to see who that second man is in that punt formation from up here in the press box. But the snap will go to Gorchevich, who rugby punts it away down the sideline, and that's going to get no further than about the 30-yard line. So a short punt that gives short field to the Grant Tigers. Not a ton you could do there being backed up towards your own end zone. No,
you wonder if Coach Garrity said something to him. He kicked that ball right at him. You got to try to bring that ball back to midfield. If you're doing the rugby-style kick, you know, you're working with a tight window already on that sideline, so you got to try to bring it back to, you know, your side of the field's hash, so it doesn't just go right out of bounds and look like you're kicking it directly at somebody else.
I believe it was Aiden Dean who was also back there with Justin Gorchevich on that punt formation. But it's 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line, already in Big Rapids territory. 9:45 left in this first half. It's an 8-0 Cardinals lead, but the Tigers are threatening. Keelan's in the gun. He's got a running back to his left. Two wide receivers split wide left, one by himself to the right. Takes a snap, drops back, looking to pass left side, and tries to find his man in the flat. That's incomplete. It was intended for Elliott Butchert, the senior tight end, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Boy, that was a great play call because he was wide open. Unfortunately for Grant, underthrow on the pass leads to incompletion, but he hits him in stride. He turns upfield. That might be 6.
He had some green grass ahead of him. It wasn't a bump and release. It was just a straight flat route from that tight end position that ended up in an incompletion. Stops the clock with 9:41 left in this first half as Keelan back up to the line of scrimmage. Takes a snap out of the gun, looking to pass left again. Same exact play, different man. It's Orion down the left sideline, and he's dragged out of bounds. And a big play there for Grant that moves the chains, gets them inside the red zone as they found one of their more important running backs on this team, Orion Evans, who's done a lot for them over the last couple of years.
I mean, that was almost the exact same play. And that's what should have happened on the play before that. So, you know, hey, good on Keeling for, coming through and get 2 chances. You got to hit at least one of them. Now the Tigers are threatening.
In the pistol. Back to pass, and there it is. Orion Evans, a little swing pass, and he walks into the end zone from about 12 yards out, and that makes it 8-6. So a touchdown for the Tigers with 9:14 left in this first half, and now to see what they do here on this 2-point conversion.
That was just too easy. That was way too easy. Keeling really didn't even sell anything other than that little dump screen there. Cardinals, you got to recognize there's only one man out there, and he had a blocker on him. That was just too easy. But shut this down. Keep the lead.
This may be even bigger than the touchdown right now. Having the 8-point lead, you want to stay in the lead. So more than likely a 2-point conversion coming here as Keelan looks towards his sideline and asks a few questions. Lights are in full effect here at Top Taggart Field. is now the Tigers up and looking like they're going to kick the extra point. And now there's a timeout called by Big Rapids, and a man running off the field at the last second there, maybe just too many men getting some formations mixed up. Coach Seltzer visibly not happy from up here. It was Sawyer Muse who was coming off there late.
I mean, it's just recognizing team, a little disorganization there. It happens, but you can't afford penalties on something like that. If there's a penalty there, moves it half the distance to the goal, maybe Grant goes for it, ties the game up instead of just kicking the field goal here. So, this is what another point I had for the pregame show here. You limit penalties, you get out of your own way. The Cardinals have had a lot of freebies that they've given teams, specifically in Week 1, a little bit in Week 2, not so much in Week 3 though. So it's good so far. The only notable penalty for the Cardinals has been DJ Green Bay just getting overzealous because he blew up a play, which I'll take that.
So back up to the line. The snap is back. It's down, and the kick is up, and good. So
very nice.
They forego the 2-point conversion and go for the single point. It's now an 8-7 lead for Big Rapids. They have a chance to add on to this. That 2-point conversion keeps them up by 2. Not something you usually see them go for a ton this year, but it really helped out in this situation. Have to give a huge shout-out to the people who made this broadcast possible, including Williams Family Medical, your local independent family doctor in downtown Big Rapids. Accepting new patients, visit williamsfamilymedical.com for more. Also, Isabella Bank. Since 1903, Isabella Bank has been lending a hand in support of area schools, service, and civic organizations to make our communities a better place to live. Isabella Bank, bank local, bank anywhere, member FDIC. So a touchdown by the Grant Tigers with 9:14 left to play in this first half. Now how will Big Rapids respond? Looked great on defense so far this game. A couple of plays that really busted them open on that last drive. But other than that, they've looked like they have everything they need for this week's game, especially going up against a team you're not exactly sure what's coming at you because they haven't played for 2 weeks.
That's all right. Make the adjustments in the secondary there and shut down the pass next time you come out, but let's put some points on the board.
The kick away, picked up by Gorchevich late as it bounced and died right next to the 25-yard line, and they will give him the 25. 1st and 10, that's where the Big Rapids Cardinals will take over. Very interesting kick there. Bounced on the turf, had one high bounce and just stayed in that same exact spot. And luckily Gorchevich had the sense of mind to just at least jump on it because there were Tigers running straight at him from down the field.
Yeah, that was a little too close for comfort. It goes 10 yards. That's free game right there. So a Cardinals just got to get on it. And, yeah, Gorchevich recognized that, just got to the ball. That was kind of weird. It's almost like it left a divot in the field when it landed. That would have been a nice approach shot if you're playing at Khaki Golf Course.
So the Cardinals back on the field. Strickler takes a snap. Handoff right side. Gorchevich breaks the line of scrimmage, gets a yard, and then he's brought down by multiple Tigers. Initial contact coming from that linebacker core from Grant. More specifically, Caleb Thompson, a senior defensive player for this Tigers team. 8-7, 8:45 left on the clock in this second quarter of play.
Well, and that's a play, too, that someone has him. Someone has the linebacker. I don't know if it's Brett Martin or someone else, but someone has that linebacker, and just whether he shed the block or just flat out evaded it. Gorchevich would have had a nice run there if not for getting blindsided, by a linebacker. So that could have been a first down. We got to keep up our assignments here, especially in the secondary.
After the yard gain, it's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Strickler takes the shotgun snap, and he reads it his own way, keeps it, tucks it in, and he only gets about a yard on this as he's drugged down on the sideline of Grant, and he's a little bit slow to get up, but now he's jogging back into the field. And a tough play there that looks like maybe he had some room in front of him, tried to get further out to cut around that edge, just couldn't get there, and that brings up 3rd and 8 with just 8 minutes left to play in this half.
Well, what would have been nice there, too, is he had an outlet. So either to take that step, and when the man bites, you give the outlet, or fake the outlet and cut up. Instead, he kind of sat in no man's land, allowed the guy to pursue and push him to the sideline, so he wasn't able to get anything out of it.
Strickler in the gun. Pass downfield, and Venix off his fingertips in nearly the second interception of the night. That was a pass that was maybe a little bit high for Venix, but it touched his fingers and bounced to the secondary.
Yeah, and actually a good job by Venix. He tried to get his fingertips up on that. Once he couldn't, he recognized the tip and the defensive back who might have a pick, and he just flattened him. It's good recognition to kind of switch sides on the fly there by Austin Venix. It's the hair. That's why he knew how to do that.
Well, just as quickly as that, wide receivers can turn into defensive backs in those types of situations, and he made the right move to make sure his quarterback wasn't getting picked off. 8:05 left on the clock in the second quarter. It's an 8-7 Cardinals lead over the Tigers. And from the punt formation, it will be Aiden Dean who rolls out right.
There you go.
This is a boot across midfield. It's fielded at the 40-yard line, and that's where Austin Venix and Jamal Strickland are there to bring him down.
Nice.
So good punt defense there as they will flip field position. Well, not exactly flip, but they'll put Grant into their own territory to start this drive.
Yeah, that's how you do it right there. Try to keep it a little bit more to the center of the field. If he doesn't kick it directly at the guy, I'm just going to continue to be critical. That was a great kick, but to fine tune it, don't kick it directly at the guy. See if you can get a roll out of it, especially a low line drive. But great coverage. I mean, the Cardinals kind of did everything they could right there. Nice kick, great coverage. Now we got to shut him down.
Keelan in the pistol has his running back behind him, puts a man in motion from right to left. Wide receiver split out on each side, and now the tight end on the right. Snap, handoff up the middle, and there's a ton of room. And luckily a tackle there late by Big Rapids gets him down right near that first down marker. They're going to give him 1 yard to go. But that was an interesting play, just to run right up the middle. And luckily Soren Muse there at the last second to bring him down.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those, too, that there's so much momentum on the running back that as the tackler, you almost have to step up and just wear the hit and bring him down with you. Just grab onto him. He's just got a lot of momentum. That was a downhill run right there by Grant. Solid pickup.
So it's 2nd down and 1 from the 43-yard line. They've moved into Cardinals territory. Keelan in the pistol as his running back behind him. Takes a snap, 3-step drop. He's looking at rushers coming towards him. He rolls left, looking downfield. Austin Venix brings him down. And the pass is away, and the hit came a little bit later as Venix has some words. There is a flag on the field, and this will be roughing the passer.
How was that roughing the passer? The guy is – oh, come on. Oh, wait. No,
Well,
he called intentional grounding, I think.
Austin Venix clapping in –
yeah, he called intentional grounding. I don't know how that's intentional grounding. I guess no receiver.
The ball was thrown 10 yards down the field. He had people on the left side of the field. Threw it as Venix had his hands wrapped around his hip. A great way to get the ball away while getting sacked to try to avoid the loss of yardage, and that'll be severe.
Yeah, with a loss of down 2, that's a big blow to Grant. I thought that he was going to throw that flag on a roughing the passer or something like that. I mean, Brendan Keeling, he's a great player, but he's not Aaron Rodgers. You can't just throw a flag anytime someone coughs on him.
Well, that brings up 3rd down and 13, 45-yard line, back in their own territory after the intentional grounding. Keelan in the gun has running backs on each side, puts his slot receiver in motion from right to left. It'll be a swing pass right. It's tipped and nearly into the hands of Gorchevich. And Sawyer Muse getting some penetration there, but making sure he keeps his edge and was just in the correct position there to get a hand on the ball.
Yeah, that was good pursuit. And for the second play in a row as well, Austin Venix just had a free lane to the quarterback and took it. You give another half second right there, someone else is eating a sack lunch.
So that brings up 4th down and 13, and Grant will have to punt again.
Great job by the defense on that drive, too. Grant was starting to show some life on offense, and this defense just destroyed that drive.
The snap away. The punt is up, and this is a nice punt that has Prince moving back. He watches it roll to 10-yard line, and a good move there as it rolls into the end zone. And Prince watches it for a touchback. So with 6:48 left on the clock in the second quarter, the Cardinals still leading the Tigers 8-7, and this is a series that doesn't have a ton of history compared to some other schools around the conference or in the area, but it does have an even history. Teams coming in at 5-5. First meeting between these two teams back in 1999, and teams really going back and forth. Big Rapids was the last one to win consecutive games, winning the last two games in 2018 and 2017, I believe, and then the last win coming from Grant last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been this team, the way they play epitomizes the record, really, because they're just a tough team. They always give the Cardinals problems.
Strickler will have the quarterback keeper himself across the 20. He'll gain a couple yards. That brings up 2nd down and 8. And last season it was a 21-10 victory for Grant, a Grant team that had a great defense and really ran down the clock on you with keeping the ball on the ground. A much different approach we've seen this year, although a new group of guys coming up and some different personnel there as well. But Big Rapids, their last victory came in 2018. They beat the Tigers there 46-22. First game of this entire all-time series back in 1999. Big Rapids beat Grant 50-27. 2nd and 8. Strickler takes a snap, rolls right, looking for Venix, who was behind his defensive back, and a great placement there by that secondary of Grant.
I think that was a little bit so I think Will kind of misread the defense right there as they were clamping down on Austin, but you actually had Xavier Prince streaking towards the middle right there. So Will throws that ball. That was a nice firm on the run pass, by the way, too. Good job by the young man. But if he just reads a different receiver 5 yards towards the middle of the field there, I mean, he's streaking full speed. You hit him on the run, he's at least to the Bulldog.
Strickler in the gun. He's got a man to his left. Wide receiver split 2 on each side. It's a dump-off pass to Gorchevich, who makes a couple of moves and nearly loses the ball.
Oh, they're saying he did.
And he did lose the ball. So it will be a fumble picked up, and if the officials go with this, which it looks like they are, it will be deep into Big Rapids territory. They're marking him down at the 25-yard line, and that looks like it's where Grant's going to take over on offense.
And he just got too cute right there. You got one man to beat. Don't get too cute. Just beat him. Either go through him or go around him. Give him a nice cut, go to the sideline, or cut it up towards the middle. He just got too cute, and it looked like maybe he even lost his footing or something, and as he went to the ground. I mean, if they had the capability, if I'm Coach Seltzer, I throw the challenge. Actually, it looks like no, they're keeping it with the Cardinals.
So it looks like they will keep it with the Cardinals. The switch in personnel was special teams. That brought up 4th down and 5. So Gorchevich will take the snap and boot it away. This is a much better punt than his first as it bounces out around the 40-yard line. They'll give him about the 43 here. A nice punt to really get them back away from the end zone.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I was going to say he looked down no matter what on that last play. So it's hard to believe that would be a fumble, but it's a nice punt. So now the Cardinals just keep doing it on defense, man. Let's see that front line just keep getting a good push. And that's the thing. This is a big team, a big, strong team out of Grant, but they're not looking like it right now. I mean, this Cardinal front line is just pushing them, and then even your backers are starting to move up and make some plays. I mean, how often has Austin Venix been in on pressure? Here we go.
Keelan takes the snap, and he's rushed in the backfield. Muse barely comes up with a sack, and instead it's about a 4-yard gain. And what a play from Brendan Keelan. Evades all of the pressure from Big Rapids, including Sawyer Muse, like I said, who nearly had a sack around the 30-yard line. Instead, he makes it all the way back upfield across the line of scrimmage, and they'll mark him down at the 47. That brings up 2nd down and 6.
I mean, that's one of those plays that as a defensive coordinator or coach or anything, you lose hair over it. But what can you do? I mean, that's just a fantastic play by Keeling to make something out of nothing get a big chunk of yards, even get out of bounds. I mean, what can you do?
Keelan takes a snap, handoff up the middle, and still moving the pile. And the ball pops out, but it's jumped on by a Tiger deep in the secondary. And that'll be a first down regardless of the fumble or not. They'll mark him down at the 45-yard line. It looks like they're not even going to count the fumble. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 45. 4:40 left on the clock in this first half. It's an 8-7 Cardinals lead over the Tigers as Keelan trying to drive this team down to score. You have to look at this defense. There's really only been one drive where they've had some issues, and that was a couple of swing passes left and right, just a few plays where they already started in Big Rapids territory. 1st down and 10. The snap, handoff, right side. There's Orion Evans who breaks across the 40, and Austin Venix holding on to his left leg for dear life finally brings him down after a gain of 7 yards. So that brings up 2nd down and 3 to go. They'll mark him down at about the 38-yard line. That's where they're back up to the line. Run and hurry up. Under 4 minutes left to play in the pistol. Keelan takes a snap. Handoff right side and a jersey tackle made by DJ Green Bay. Just had a handful of Orion Evans jerseys, and he was able to bring him down, but not before the 1st down. He got 4 yards when he needed 3. That brings up 1st down and 10 from the 34.
And this is good recognition by Coach Garrity and his staff. The Cardinals are getting such a push on that defensive line that it's actually opening up lanes to run. So while Keelan doesn't have any time to pass right now, and he's got to run for his life anytime he drops back even a yard, it's opening up lanes to run. And there you go. I mean, if it's not for the long arms and strong grip of DJ Green Bay, that could have been another big play.
So in the gun, running back to his left. Keelan takes a snap, drops back, looking left, has his running back Evans in the flat. He breaks a couple tackles, moving forward to the 30, and they'll call him down at the 30 from forward progress. So just these quick little swing passes trying to get them downfield. 3 minutes flat left on the clock in the second quarter. That brings up 2nd down and 6 to go. This has been a long drive for both these teams so far. You have to wonder if that Cardinals defense getting tired. We've seen a couple players come off that field. Christian Ransvig came off. He's been a big player for them on defense this season. But now with 2:40, Grant back up to the line in the pistol. Keelan takes the snap. He's looking right. He'll throw right too high.
There you go.
It's picked off by Grant Kidder. He's got room across midfield. One man to beat. That's Keelan. He cuts back across field. He's open at the 30, the 20, and he prances in for a Cardinals touchdown. 2:22 left in the first quarter, and there is an official down and a flag down around the 20, and it looks like an official may be hurting on the sideline. Have to wonder if that flag, if that came out maybe when he tripped, because he's laying on the sideline. Coach Mike Seltzer coming over to talk to him. Looks like he's in a bit of pain. Hasn't really gotten up yet. He's moved left and right, but the training crew for Big Rapids will come down and look. Unless that flag means something there, it's still sitting at around the 20-yard line. This should be a pick 6 for Grant Kidder.
You can't take this away from him. If you had a player that got excited or something and he clipped the ref, enforce it after. But that's a heck of a play there by Grant. He was gone. He put a nice move on Keelan to get by him, the one man to beat. I mean, that's a shot in the arm right there for the Cardinals.
And, Jeff, they're taking a pretty long look at the official down here, looking at his knee, and he looks like he's in quite a bit of pain. So this could get interesting with maybe one less mate of the officiating crew. Something, I don't know if this is something you've seen. I've never seen anything like this before. But obviously, first and foremost, we're wishing for the best health for that official down the field. Never want to see anybody get hurt. Usually we're talking home team, away team, but home team, away team, officials, coaches, you never want to see anybody on that field get hurt. And that was a pick 6, so you have to be assuming that he was probably gunning it down that sideline.
Yeah, I don't think it was a turf monster that got him, though. I do think it was a player that clipped him. But, yeah, because the refs are all getting together, got some hands pointing in directions.
Well, he's about 15 yards away from where the player box ends on that Big Rapids sideline. You have to wonder if he was running down the sideline and maybe tripped or something. That could have maybe been a reason why that flag was sitting around the 20-yard line if that's what happened. If he gets tripped by a player who's not on the field, that's a flag.
I tell you what, though, that guy is committed to his job. If he just, blew up an ACL, and while he was falling down, he had the wherewithal to pull a flag out and throw it, that guy's a ref right there.
We'll have to see. The officiating crew meeting, obviously, maybe talking about that flag, but hoping for the best for their officiating crewmate. 2:22 left on the clock here from Faro State University. As of right now, a pick 6 by Grant Kidder has given the Cardinals a 14-7 lead. We have not attempted the extra point yet, as the training crews are still looking at the official on the near sideline at about the 10. He's up and on his feet now.
That's good. And the points are on the board. Grant's getting set for an extra point. I mean, I think that it is officially pick 6. We'll just see where they enforce anything afterwards. Thankfully, he does look like he is getting better. Maybe they did the magic water bottle on it. But there was a Cardinal in the vicinity, so I do think he did clip a Cardinal. But that's what I mean. The wherewithal of that guy to be able to pull a flag out as he was going down, I salute you, bud. He's going to walk it off, too.
Well, you can tell
this guy's my spirit animal.
Most definitely wants to stay officiating this game. Not a topic we're usually up in the booth talking about, but you can tell it's uncomfortable from what we can see up here in the press box, but we'll see if he sticks around here or not. But regardless, teams will come back onto the field now. I have to give a big shout-out to Bader & Sons Company at greentractors.com. Outstanding in their field with sales of new and used John Deere farm and lawn equipment, parts, certified technicians, plus brands like Steel and Air Rents. So right now the Cardinals back up to the line of scrimmage, awaiting the whistle to go for 2. So Strickler in the gun, takes a step back, looking left side. He's looking back corner. Grant Kidder is open, and he drops it right off of his hands, wide open in the back left corner of the end zone. And it will stay a 7-point lead, so 14-7. 2:22 left on the clock here in the second quarter.
What a perfect pass from Will, though. Just perfect. And he better give Grant some flack for that one. Come on, kid. You make one play, you got to make 2 in a row. Let's go.
Wow.
Oh, great pass by Will, though. That's okay. I mean, they're still 14-7, still up. It's a real good news to get a second score before halftime.
Kidder secured the pick 6, but couldn't do the same with the 2-point conversion. So, as Jeff just said, a 7-point lead, 14-7. Cardinals up on the Tigers as they line back up for the kick away. I'd like to mention Johnson's Automotive Repair, always reliable. Johnson serves the community with honesty and integrity. Northland Drive, just south of the airport, Big Rapids. Also, Sam's Disposal. Stop getting tossed around like trash. Flat rates, no contracts, no extra fees, and if you're not happy, they'll work with you to make it right. Call Sam's Disposal today. Also, Big Rapids Public Schools, educating our future since 1868. Recognized nationally and by the state of Michigan for excellence arts. So an interesting turn of events there on our right side of the field. Ended up in a pick 6 touchdown, no 2-point conversion, and an injured member of the officiating crew who's still currently standing on the sideline. Jamal Strickland gets ready to boot it away, and it'll just be a pooch kick up the middle, bouncing and picked up right at the 45-yard line. Now streaking right. He's got some room, getting back towards the right across the 40, slips up at the 35-yard line, and another official gets taken out on this play. And he's still down on the other side of the field. He got wrapped up in a jumble of players, both Grant and Big Rapids, that came across to that 35 and directly in the way of that officiating member on the sideline. And it looks like the training crew will come out and take another look at this official.
I don't think Jess has ever been this busy with non-players during a game. Boy, this is like the most unfortunate thing in the world for these officials who really are calling a good game.
It has been a good game so far. The only thing we maybe questioned was an intentional grounding, but we were looking more at the play on the quarterback than anything. But, and obviously not making light of this situation at all, but you have to think, lightning never strikes twice.
Yeah.
I've never before this game seen an official go down. I've heard of officiating members getting hurt. But we see one at the 10-yard line, now another on a kick return at the 35-yard line, and he hasn't really moved all that much on that far sideline.
I think he may have been rolled up on or something like that. I mean, he is down.
And Jess, the athletic trainer for Big Rapids, out there basically laying on the turf trying to talk to him. And Jess has done a great job. She was very active last week, unfortunately. Good that nobody was hurt in any major way for Big Rapids last week. Have to give a lot of credit to Jess and the job she's done with the kids and also the officiating crew tonight. And I also would like to apologize because I would more than love to pronounce her last name, but I've never gotten to ask her that question.
Van Trustenberg.
Van Trustenberg?
Van Trustenberg.
Hey, vocab points for you.
Yeah. That was totally all on my own, too.
Passed your spelling class early on in life, huh?
No.
No?
No, I did.
Hey, we all have autocorrect now, so
Yeah.
it's not as big of a deal. But another official down, another official up right now on the sideline. So you have to wonder, well, it looks like the official who was down at the 10-yard line on the interception is now back at midfield. And to be completely honest, if this other officiating member can't make it, they may need to have one of the guys come back in injured.
This is nuts, though.
It is nuts, and it looks like every official is on the field at this moment, and every official is ready to keep going. But after that nice kick return by Grant, which really can't go understated here with 2 minutes left in the second quarter, they're setting up shop 1st and 10 at the 34 in Big Rapids territory. The snap and a read option. Keelan takes it himself. No one knows he has it.
Nice tackle.
And a great shoestring tackle on the outside by Xavier Prince, who saved nearly a touchdown there for Grant.
Oh, man. Yeah. Great tackle by Avi. Oh, that could have been lethal. Keeling, man, he's dangerous. And now he's kind of found his feet. He's starting to use them.
Second down and 3. And
There you go.
hand off up the middle. This may have ended up on the ground. It's just a matter of who picked it up. The ball on the ground around the 29-yard line. And
Cardinals.
it will go to Big Rapids. So Big, after a huge kick return that got them deep into Cardinals territory, the Tigers fumble.
I don't want to speak too soon. I think, was that Green Bay? Or was that Johnson? I don't know if that was Green Bay or Johnson. I think it was Green Bay because he was unblocked. No one even looked at him. So, unfortunately for Grant, their running back didn't even have a chance to get that ball in his hands.
Well, for a 14-7 game, this is one of the more interesting drive charts I've put together. We'll take a look at that when we have some time. Maybe if everyone's sticking around at the Big Rapids Public Schools halftime report. Snap to Strickler, handoff left side to Gorchevich, and he'll get at most inches as there's a timeout called, I believe, by Big Rapids on the field.
Last one of the half.
It actually looks like they took that timeout away from Grant. One timeout left for Big Rapids in this first half, 2 timeouts left for Grant. We'll actually take a timeout alongside them. 30 seconds, we'll be back with more football here on Big Country 100.9.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
This is Ferris State University. We have Big Rapids Cardinals football here on Big Country 100.9. I'm Riley Edwards alongside Jeff Scarpelli. Our board op back at the station. Braden Childress keeping us on air tonight. And this has been a great game so far. A couple of interesting things happening throughout the sequences of this first half, but it's a 14-7 lead for Big Rapids over Grant, and they have time, well, a minute and a half left for maybe one more touchdown drive before the end of the half. Strickler in the gun. A hard count. Gets a little bit of movement from the Tigers, but not enough to call a flag. It's 2nd down and 10 from the 30-yard line. And Strickler fumbles the snap. It's on the ground, and a few Cardinals get there.
Looks like Tigers
But it looks like the Tigers may have beat him to the punch. And boy, turnovers back and forth. And Grant, besides a couple of pass plays, really seems like they can't get into the red zone against Big Rapids. It's just a matter of if they can hold on to the ball or not.
Yeah, we've helped them a lot so far. So now the defense has got to show up once again.
Got ourselves a butterball here, boys.
Well, this is quite the game, and now all of a sudden, Grant has a chance to mount a drive with 1:23 left on the clock to try to tie this game. It's 14-7, Big Rapids over Grant. Keelan takes a snap, drops back, looking left, goes across the middle of the field. He's got a man open, and it's right on point for a Grant touchdown.
That was a very nice pass. Good vision by Keelan. Very nice pass on the dime, underthrew just a touch, but not enough to affect anything.
Yeah, the connection from Brendan Keelan to Trevor Lowry. Trevor Lowry, once again, that player tonight, switching from number 34 to 5 pre-game. They scored that touchdown with barely any time taken off the clock, and you have to wonder if you're Grant, maybe you would have liked to have taken a little bit more time left, or taken a little bit more time off the clock to try to give Big Rapids a smaller window to score in. But there's still 1:16 left in this first half.
I think they'd take the points, right?
Oh, absolutely. On a pass like that, that was a dime right at the goal line, caught by Lowry, and that was a beautiful play written up by Grant that just scorched the secondary. So the snap is down, the kick is away, and it's good. So we're tied at 14, 1:16 left in this first half. And let's see what Big Rapids, at least their offense, has in hold for us in this last minute.
You know, we're not always the best at the quick strike, or more methodical offense. But let's go to the air. Let's see what happens.
You really never know. They're capable of some long passes. They're capable of some long runs, mostly from a guy that's not on the field right now. Sam Alley has had their longest run of the year, 75 yards. That was one of the only two touchdowns against Reed City, where he pulled it down and ran it in for 75 yards. But all knotted up at 14 apiece. 1:16 left, and now Grant comes out and puts the ball back on the tee, getting ready to kick it away. Have to mention Paris Auto Sales and Service. Make sure your vehicle is ready for winter. Get a tune-up today. Northland Drive, just north of the airport, Big Rapids. Also, Farmer Insurance Shane Strickler Agency. Shane can help you customize your insurance needs for your lifestyle and family. Auto, home, business, life. Call or stop in downtown Big Rapids as the kick is away, picked up down the left sideline across the 40, and that's where he's brought down. And that is where this offense will start at. That was Justin Gorchevich with a nice little sneak up the left sideline. They'll mark him down at the 40, 1st and 10, 1:10 left, and just one timeout left in this half for Big Rapids.
You got a scoring update from our friends on WBRN here, covering Reed City against Newaygo, up in Reed City, 30-20 in the second quarter. The Coyotes are leading.
They've looked like a tough team all year long so far. You do have to think about it. Before last week, Central Montcalm and Reed City, the two teams sitting really at the top of the CSAA right now, or the CSAA Gold, had both played, both Big Rapids and Chip Hills, so getting a little bit more variety. As Strickler takes a snap, it's launched down the left sideline, and Jamal Strickland catches it, but he is out of bounds.
Do that all day. I love that. I love that connection. Just a little bit out of bounds, but Jamal, that was great concentration to go like way over that defender to catch that ball. That kid didn't have a chance to stop him. Do that again.
And when they go through the air lately, Jamal Strickland has been a pivotal part of that air raiding game. You look down the left sideline there's no safety help. It's one-on-one, and that's the situation no matter who's guarding him. You'll take Jamal Strickland in. He can jump, he can run, he can do almost anything he needs to get that ball in his possession.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you watch that kid play basketball, he's like jumping over the backboard.
1:05 left in the first half. Strickler takes the snap. It's a read optional, taking himself, trying to get out wide around the 40, and he's taken down by his leg and got upended caught a little air there for a second. And that'll bring up third down, 51 seconds left. And it's still rolling. 45 seconds left. And maybe Coach Mike Seltzer giving him a few minutes to recuperate here, as he hit the ground pretty hard. And
yeah, that's actually a good thing that Will did pop up like he did, because you get your leg tugged like that, you can shake something loose. Boy, a big surprise going on right now out in Remus too. Fremont up 27-8.
Fremont has had some up and down teams as well, but have had some good looks. You mentioned 46 seconds. I said Mike Seltzer giving his quarterback some time to breathe. Well, actually, with third down and 13 upcoming, Grant took their second time out of the half, leaving them with one, so possibly one or a couple more plays here from Grant offensively if they get that ball back. Currently, it's third and 13 from the 37-yard line, as both teams huddle up on their own sidelines. I'd like to mention the people that made this broadcast possible tonight. Schuberg Insurance Agency, located in downtown Big Rapids. Your local independent agency, community-driven, policyholder-focused, education-based for the best rates on home, auto, business, and life. Also, quality car and truck repair, the area's only AAA service center on 220th Avenue, just west of 131, Big Rapids. So out of the timeout, both teams back on the field. Ball placed at the 37, motion from left to right. It's a handoff up the middle. Gorchevich has some room across the 50. He's dragged down around the 45-yard line, and they'll give him the 44. Clock will stop at 41 seconds while the chain gang moves. So hurrying up to the line of scrimmage in the gun. Strickler has a running back to his left. Two wideouts split both left and right. Strickler takes a snap. He's looking left across the middle of the field and too high and behind Grant Kidder. He was open, had some guys in front of him, but he could have made the catch around the 25-yard line, but it's incomplete. That brings up second down and 10 from the 44-yard line. Still 32 seconds and one timeout left for Big Rapids.
I like the pass, just a little off target. Go back to Jamal, my guy.
So Big Rapids back up to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10 from the 44, tied at 14 between Big Rapids and Grant. Strickler in the gun, running back to his right, takes a snap, rolls right, gets his man Jamal Strickland, who doesn't step out of bounds, goes back towards the middle of the field. He's got some room across the 30, he's tripped up, and now he's dragged out of bounds. And head coach Mike Seltzer might not be too happy about Jamal getting back towards the middle of the field, but getting dragged back out.
Yeah, no harm, no foul right there. All right, he got out of bounds still. It's okay. I think he's letting him know that right now, but that's what Coach Rocky is.
Not getting out of bounds in a short time, and also trying to run backwards to make a play go forwards are two of the things you hear coaches talk about all the time. 23 seconds left in this second quarter, 14-14, and Big Rapids has a first and 10 from the 25-yard line. Strickler in the gun has Gorchevich to his left. It's Venix and Kidder split left, and then it's Prince and Strickland wide right. Venix moves into the tight end position. As there's no high safety, it's a read option handoff up the middle to Gorchevich. He has a few yards and a late flag thrown as DJ Green Bay fell off the pile. So maybe some extracurricular activity that stops the clock with 18 seconds left. And it will be unsportsmanlike conduct against Grant.
That's a break, especially since it stopped the clock.
So it will move forward, and from the 25 to almost the 10-yard line, you have to think you'll take those extra yards here, especially with 18 seconds left. And Mike Seltzer still held on to that last time out. All of a sudden, the clock rolling after the foul call there. Strickler takes a snap, rolling right. He has to tuck it, and he gets out of bounds with 6 seconds left. Gets a couple yards gains, move up to about the 8-yard line. 6 seconds left. This is more than likely the last play of this half. Where are you going, Jeff?
To the air, to my guy, to Jamal. Just toss it up. I mean, especially if you're going to get any kind of one-on-one, toss it up. He can jump higher than anyone on Grant. Put money on that.
He had a nice touchdown catch against Reed City a couple weeks ago. Played very well last week as well. And Jamal Strickland is lined up on the ends, but in the kick formation. This is the first time we've seen Sam Alley tonight. The snap is down, the kick is up, and it's through.
Hey, nice kick.
So they add 3 points and leave just 2 seconds on the clock. It's a 17-14 Cardinals lead. Something you don't see a ton in high school football, but they get a field goal on the drive and take the lead just before they go into halftime.
I don't hate that. No, I was just saying go to Jamal. I don't hate that. I'm more of a Madden guy, so I'm going to take that risk. go for broke. That's a good call right there by Coach Seltzer to get the points, get the lead. Now, kick it off, whatever. Just make sure they don't run this back. And you take the lead in half. Use a good foot, even going against the wind of the Justin Fox trained Sam Alley to get that through the uprights. Take it.
2 seconds left on the clock is Big Rapids. Grant coming back onto the field as Grant will return a kick here to more than likely end the half. Make sure you stick around for the Big Rapids Public Schools halftime report. Myself, alongside Jeff Scarpelli, will be there for some more in-depth analysis and maybe even some stats right inside the Big Country Isabella Bank Sports Studio. Ball teed up at the 40-yard line, and Strickland will basically do an onside kick. It's picked up around the 40, and that'll drain the last 2 seconds off the clock. As they tackle him around the 45, and that's all we have in store for the first half. So the Cardinals show some good things, show some ball security issues again, but they still have that lead against Grant, 17-14. We'll have much more in that first half of play after we take this break on Big Country 100.9.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Auto Owners Insurance and the Schuberg Insurance Agency is a winning combination. We'll work for you to insure your home, auto, business, and life. To keep everything you value safe, sound, and secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Call the Schuberg Insurance Agency, located in downtown Big Rapids today, for a fast, free quote. 231-796-5881. Go Cards.
They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but they were wrong.
I can't believe my car struck by lightning twice. Now it doesn't start again.
Thankfully, the NEPA-certified techs at Johnson's Automotive in Big Rapids can fix electrical systems and starters, so our hero can get back on the road quickly.
Wow, it's almost like a total recall. Thankfully, I don't have to be a running man anymore.
Johnson's Automotive, fixing all foreign and domestic vehicles. Northland Drive, just south of the airport, Big Rapids.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
Not everyone learns best in a classroom or has the time or resources to attend a school. If you're one of those people, the Big Rapids Virtual School is your path to graduate high school. The virtual school uses new and emerging technologies, allowing students to work towards their diploma anytime, any place, any way, and any pace. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week, students can access class materials, listen to lectures, complete assignments. Plus, the lab is available 39 hours per week where students can work and ask teachers for help. For more information about Big Rapids Virtual School,
Your car's transmission. It can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. One day you're cruising along without a care in the world. The next day your car is about as mobile as a big old hog on a hot summer day. Thankfully, the Napa certified techs at Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids specialize in fixing and rebuilding transmissions. They'll make sure your car runs so smooth you'd think it was a pickup line from Patrick Swayze. Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids, Northland Drive, just north of the airport. Schedule your appointment online at parisautosalesbr.net.
Hey, everybody! Harry Carey here for Talk Trash. Our first guest is Ben from Sam's Disposal. So, Ben, why haven't you raised your rates in over 10 years? It seems to be all the rage now.
Well, Mr. Carey, that's a great question. You see, my father Sam always said...
Sam? Now that's a great name. I once knew a man named Sam Toothpick Jones. They called him Toothpick because he was curious like a cat. Say, have you ever seen the movie Son of Sam?
Yeah, actually.
It is a great show. Well, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Hey, Ben, tell me, how do you stay in business with flat rates without any hidden fees? Seems like all your competitors always stick it to you when you don't see it coming.
Now, that's another great question, Harry.
Well, that's the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us, Ben, with Sam's Disposal. It sounds like a swell company. Do you pick up in heaven? I might have to give you a call. See you next time for Talk Trash, folks. Don't forget to call Sam at 796-2952. Cubs win. Cubs win.
This just out, the average age of a vehicle on the road today is just over 11 years. That's impressive because it takes regular maintenance and solid repair work to keep a vehicle running well that long. At Quality Car and Truck Repair, that's what we do. We keep vehicles running their best for as long as possible. We're still changing oil, performing regular maintenance, and doing repairs on vehicles much older than that. Keep your vehicle in shape. Call Quality Car and Truck Repair, 220th Avenue and Perry, just west of 131, Big Rapids.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Williams. I just opened a new family practice clinic, Williams Family Medical. I see all types of patients from birth to geriatrics. I came back to Big Rapids because I grew up in Big Rapids. I have roots here, my family is here, my parents are here, and I feel really strongly about serving this community. I originally thought I was going to be a physical therapist. I had looked at being a pharmacist, and then I realized as I looked into those programs that nothing held my attention the way that medicine did, of being the doctor. And being able to go to an area like Big Rapids, where I've worked in other rural health clinics, and being the doctor in a small area is a great way to serve the community. But there's also an intimacy that you get when you're somebody's doctor and you know them, and you know their family, and you know their history. It's a good way to make friends, you know? I am Dr. Rachel Williams. I opened a family medicine clinic here in downtown Big Rapids. You can call us at 616-570-4776. Find us on Facebook with Williams Family Medical or online williamsfamilymedical.com.
This is Cardinal Country. We have Josie Prince, joined by Braden Childress, Coach Ian James of Ferris State Softball.
Players, coaches, alumni. Coach Scarpelli gets the inside scoop on all things Big Rapids sports.
We get to go to my favorite sport. You decided you want to come out for baseball. So why did you want to come out for baseball senior year?
To be honest, because we lost to New City last game of basketball. So I couldn't go out with an L to them on my belt. Then that moves forward to my favorite game in baseball would be against them when I hit that home run.
Yep.
Their players were talking mess, which I didn't know people talk mess in baseball, but the players were talking mess to me, and then I came out and hit a home run. So
watch Cardinal Country on Big Country's YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Download the podcast at WBRN.com, at Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. Cardinal Country is proudly sponsored by Johnson's Automotive, serving the area with honesty and integrity.
An all-time series between these two teams, 5-5. First meeting between the two was won by Big Rapids, 50-27, back in 1999. And the kick is away, trying to break the tie between the two teams. It's Jamal Strickland, has the ball around the 20, trying to cut back across, and he's brought down, trying to gain some extra yardage where looks like he may have taken a step back from where he got the ball, but they'll mark him 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
That was a nice tackle. Can't really see some of the numbers down there, but I'm not sure who was on the tackle, but that was a nice tackle by Grant, and you always like to see it too. You know, kind of a hard hit like that brings Jamal to the ground hard, gives him a pat on the back. Hey,
You all right, man? All right, cool. That's sportsmanship.
So 1st and 10 from the 20. Will Strickler starting his second half here in tonight's game. Had a pretty promising first half trying to guide this offense. Got some help by a pick 6 from Grant Kidder on the defense. Now has a chance to go on an 80-yard drive. There's a pass. Austin Bennings in the slot. Has a man move. He's open around midfield. He's got a couple blockers, and from behind, he's brought down while sliding forward towards the 45 in Grant territory. And that's exactly where they will mark him. 1st and 10. A big first play of this second half for not only Will Strickler, but this Big Rapids offense.
I'm going to call that the Braden Childers special right there. That was, Bray, you're listening, that was exactly the play I was talking about doing. Right at the beginning of the game, your specialty back then. Now on that play too, if you had Javi who either turned around and blocked the defender or even created a pick, Austin may have been gone.
Was that the pan?
1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Strickler in the gun has Gorchevich to his left. 2 wide receiver split left, 1 by himself to the right. It's a read option, and Gorchevich will take the ball up the middle, and no whistle blown. He gets driven about 10 yards back, and they will give the forward progress at the line of scrimmage. So it stays the same. 2nd down and 10 now from the 45.
That was Isaiah Powell. As Gorchevich tried to do a spin to make something out of nothing. He had no room there at all. Tried to spin it. He spun right into Powell, who threw him back. I mean, that's a strong young man there. Threw him right back where he came from.
Well, if you're Gorchevich, you're just lucky that they gave you the line of scrimmage. There's the line of gain. 10:40 left on the clock in the 3rd quarter. First drive of this second half. Big Rapids on the field. Have 2 wide receivers left. That's Kidder and Jamal Strickland. 1 wide receiver to the right. That is Xavier Prince. Prince in motion from right to left. Strickler rolling out to pass. Has Jamal Strickland downfield, and it's swatted away. A very athletic play by Brady Jacobs jumping up and swatting that ball down above Jamal Strickland.
Yeah, and Jamal just kind of let that ball come to him instead of going and get the ball. He allowed Brady to make the play. So Jamal, it was underthrown. You got to set your feet. You got to go back. You got to get to that ball, make the catch, and then maybe put a move on your defender if you can get away. But first and foremost, catch that ball. We actually saw, if you watched that Bears game last night, you saw that Gronkowski did not do that, though. He did not come back to get the ball. Troy Aikman was talking about that last night, so shout out Troy Aikman for teaching me that prior to tonight's game.
No one had DVR that Bears-Bucks game. You have it right in your noggin. It's 3rd down and 10 from the 45-yard line, 17-14. Big Rapids leads Grant as a big 3rd down to start this second half for Will Strickler. Got a running back to his left, a tight end to his right. Takes the snap. He'll take it himself, trying to run out wide left. He gets to the sideline and went down as he was running out. So no late hit penalty that time. Very close to what we saw on the personal foul in that first half on the late hit. No flag there, but he does get a few yards. That brings up 4th down and about 7 to go.
Well, you got to wonder if, one of the Foot Locker guys got a mouthful from Coach Garrity on that one, so they're going to kind of let it fly a little bit. Right there, though, Will, he was kind of shying away from contact, and, so he just ran to the sideline, so he's just running. He's not going anywhere, right? I mean, you just got to cut up field. Even if you just cut up and dive, cut up field, try to get a couple yards out of that.
Gorchevich takes the snap. He'll punt it away. A nice punt caught at the 6-yard line. He'll get across the 15 towards the 20. He'll spin through and nearly to the 25. A punt that could have pinned them as deep as inside the 5. Turns out being a ball that starts at the 24-yard line for Grant. That's where they will take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, Powell got lucky there because he lets that go. He got it at the 20. So if you don't get back to the 20, you're going to get yelled at. You're going to get chewed out for that for sure. So he got 4 yards. He's +4. So good job on him to fight for those extra 4 yards.
So Grant back on the field. Keelan in the gun, has a running back to his left. A wide receiver split left alone, and this will be a quarterback keeper. He's running immediately around the left side across the 30. He's got some good blocking to the 40-yard line where he's dragged out of bounds, and they'll actually give him the 41. 1st and 10 from right there. Clock stops at 9:42 as the chains move.
That's good by Xander Prince, who got locked up on the side there by Grant receiver, but he was able to shed that block to shut down that play. That could have been huge. That could have been 6.
Back up to the line, 1st and 10 from the 41, snap, and it's another keeper for Keelan. He's trying to get wide, and he's brought down for a loss, maybe a yard or 2, and there were some secondary names back there. Also to mention, see Jack Cooley back on the field at linebacker, and that was Xavier Prince who came from that cornerback position to make a tackle.
Yeah, Jack's got a little limp going, but, I mean, he's too cool to come off the field with a little injury or something like that. He's not going to do that. So, but that was an excellent job by Javi in pursuit right there to get his man, make an open field tackle. Don't let anything else happen. We know that guy, Brendan Keeling, he's tough to tackle. So good job by Javi.
Snap, 3-step drop, pass out left. It's too short.
Well, you almost wish that he didn't underthrow that ball. That could have been picked.
Could have been picked. Xander Prince was coming across quick.
He was all over that. In fact, I think he saw that ball better than the intended receiver.
Trying to get to Elliott Butcher on that pass. That brings up 3rd down and 11. 8:57 left on the clock in this third quarter. 17-14, Big Rapids leads. Back up to the line of scrimmage. As he's running back to his left, Keelan taking a look at the defense. Takes a snap. He's running left. He's got an option to his left. He decides to cut up field, and Sawyer Muse is able to grab and hold on enough for help to come, and the help came in form of Austin Venix, who brought him down shy of a 1st down, but it is 4th and about 3 to go right at midfield. Ball placed at the 48-yard line, 8:35 left on the clock. If you're Grant here, struggles on offense, says maybe you have to take this chance. And that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, it can be a shot in the arm to do it. This offense is certainly capable of getting 3 yards, but flip side, here we go.
And that's exactly what they were hoping for right there, a hard count. And nearly that whole defensive line for Big Rapids jumps offsides. We haven't seen Keelan go with the hard count. Maybe some less fans, especially for a homecoming game. If you're a defensive lineman, you have to be watching that ball, not listening to the cadence.
Yeah, right there that's situational, right? I mean, as the defensive line, you're in a really good rhythm, you're timing him up and everything, but you got to know in that situation he's going to do that.
Snap, handoff up the middle. Evans gets nearly another 1st down, and check that, he does. Ball all the way up to the 35-yard line, move the chains. Clock stops at 7:58 momentarily.
Boy, that was just beast mode right there by Evans, just plowing through people. But that's another good play call, I have to say, by Coach Garrity. You just drew the line offside. The line is probably going to be a little bit more timid on the next snap in case that happens. They'll be on their heels. He just calls a play going right down your throat.
1st down and 10 from the 35-yard line. 7.5 minutes left in this third quarter. And the snap to Keelan. He'll take it himself around the end, puts his head down, and the lower man wins. That's Austin Venix. That was nearly helmet-to-helmet contact there. That could have been tough for the runner, who's not supposed to use the crown of their helmet, but he still gets 2 yards, brings up 2nd down and 8 from the 33.
Boy, and Austin is, he's a sure tackle right now. He's like a Brian Urlacher for him out there. Chicago Bears. But he's really taken after to Elliott Blair a couple years ago, who Elliott with the hair as well, but I'm sure that's just coincidence. I mean, he's in on every play. Austin is in on every play.
Snap, handoff up the middle, and there is a great tackling job by who other than Austin Venix.
What I just said.
He was helped out by that defensive front, but he came across, got low, picked up the legs, and finished the tackle, and that brings up 3rd down.
And he's got some swag to him after that, too, and he should. I mean, he should. He's in on every play here. He is reading this offense like a book. I love to see it. This is like my favorite part of football, is seeing a linebacker just kind of take over a game. And Austin is doing everything he can on this set of downs to shut down this drive.
Keelan takes a snap, immediately rolls right, has an edge coming across. Sawyer Muse can't make the sack. He throws downfield, and that's intercepted and dropped. Will they call it a fumble or an incompletion?
Oh, they're going to waive it.
And they will call it an incompletion.
Hobby got excited.
From up here, he looked like he made the catch made some sort of athletic move and then fumbled it, and I think that's what head coach Mike Seltzer is trying to say at the moment.
I think it probably looks like he never had control of it. I mean, he just got too excited because that was, I mean, he doesn't catch it, it hits him in the face. So that was just right there. You know, that's one of those plays that it's just in slow motion. You just see it coming, time slows down, and you just overthink it, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, the fourth down marker would say maybe he has another chance as Keelan takes a snap, rolls right, trying to cut up field, throws it short, and there he was. Xavier Prince looking for that interception. He missed the first time. The pass was too short. That's a turnover on downs in Big Rapids territory. So on their own side of the field, the Cardinals will take over 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line with 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
That's just great job. Great defensive job right there. I mean, there's Keelan, he had no outlet at all. Every guy was covered. That pass was not really anywhere remotely close to a receiver. He probably should have pump faked it and tried to run. But even then, I don't think he gets the first down. That was just great coverage by the Cardinals.
So first two drives, Big Rapids with the punt and Grant with the turnover on downs. Now Strickler comes out in the gun, hands it off up the middle to Gordchevich, and maybe 8 of the 11 on the field were standing there ready to meet him for Grant. That'll go for a loss of 1 yard, brings up 2nd and 11.
Yeah, poor guy didn't stand a chance on that play.
17-14. Big Rapids still leading in this third quarter. 5:45 left on the clock. And Strickler, who has had his moments this game, you can tell he's still young and working things out, but done a good job of trying to maintain this offense and has had some good throws.
Yeah, Will has done an exceptional job. You know, on paper, of course, halftime starry-eyed about him and everything. On paper, it doesn't look that pretty, but he's done a really good job of managing this game.
Takes a snap, rolling out left, throwing across his body, and he had his man, Justin Gordchevich, and went through his hands and nearly into the hands of the secondary for Grant, and more specifically Orion Evans, who we've called at that running back position multiple times. But that's a ball that Justin Gordchevich probably needs to catch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. You could say it was a touch high, but I mean, come on, you got to have that. Will made a good pass, going against his body, throwing on the run. Justin, he's got to have that. That's frustrating for a quarterback too, especially a quarterback who's just trying to complete passes at this point. When you actually have a good pass and it doesn't get caught. But Gordchevich is a good player. He'll bounce back right here.
Strickler takes the snap, rolling out right, has a man downfield and some early contact, but the catch made by Strickland, and he will be a yard short of the first down marker.
Boy, that was that was like an NFL-style catch. I think he got 2 feet in bounds, too. It looked like he dragged his toes. That was a great catch by Jamal.
So 4th down and 1 to go. It looks like they may be going goal line formation here. They bring a wide receiver out and put an extra lineman in.
They bring in the jumbo package. Where's Refrigerator Perry when you need him? How many more Bears references do you think I can make in this broadcast?
I don't know if I want to know. I don't know if our listeners want to know, especially since you're in a non-bear friendly state.
It's a no.
4th down and 1 from the 41-yard line, and Strickler
will get a timeout.
There will have to be a timeout before he takes the snap, and Coach Mike Seltzer talking to some of his coaching staff there. And now we'll talk to the rest of his team as they're coming off the field. We'll take a short timeout along with them, 30 seconds, and we're back with more coverage here on Big Country 100.9.
Not everyone learns best in a classroom or has the time or resources to attend a school. If you're one of those people, the Big Rapids Virtual School is your path to graduate high school. The virtual school uses new and emerging technologies, allowing students to work towards their diploma anytime, any place, any way, and any pace. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week, students can access class materials, listen to lectures, complete assignments. Plus, the lab is available 39 hours per week where students can work and ask teachers for help. For more information about Big Rapids Virtual School, call 796-3489.
5:05 left in the third quarter here from Ferris State. It's Big Rapids hosting Grant. as we're happy to bring all the coverage to you right here on Big Country 100.9. Riley Edwards, Jeff Scarpelli sitting to my right. Back at the board is Braden Childress. Caitlin Orm directing our Facebook live stream even further to my right. And a lot of coverage for a great game so far. A 3-point lead for Big Rapids, 17-14. You can credit that lead to a Sam Alley field goal to basically close out that first half. But now Strickler under center takes a snap. It will be a fullback dive. There is a flag on the play, and it looks like it will be going against Grant. They called, at least the signal from up here is either offsides or encroachment.
Was that too slow or?
So regardless of where the ball is spotted, this looks like it should be a first down, at least according to the near line judge.
Looks like an injured player, Caleb Thompson for the Tigers. He's being helped off by a couple other Tigers. Maybe an ankle. Hopefully just a cramp. There were actually a couple other JV players moved up, by the way, as I just noticed. You got Brody Sleeper down there. I got to think of the other guy. Will Brody. Come on, Nate.
Well, while you think it's 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line, Strickler takes a snap, now rolling right, throws across the middle of the field. It was tipped and nearly intercepted again by Orion Evans.
Will, come on, dude. Can't do that.
He tried to step up again and throw late towards the middle of the field, which we've talked about while talking to head coach Mike Seltzer. Doesn't usually work for a younger quarterback. It's very clogged back there deep in that secondary towards the middle of the field. You have a lot of traffic through there. It's tough to step up and make one of those throws.
Noah Bryant. That's who it was.
Kudos.
Just had to get the old mind grapes working, that's all.
4:55 left in the third quarter, and the snap is a handoff
There you
straight
go.
up the middle, and there's Jack Cooley, who gets upended after he gets into enemy territory. Mark him down at the 48 of Grant.
Just see a trail of ice behind him. Cool man. It's my guy, man. He's a tough runner, tough player. Big fan of Jack Cooley. I'm glad that he's healthy too. It was a little scary there in the first half.
Well, that was a very convincing run by him, able to plant, get up the middle, and get some good yardage. That brings up 3rd down and 4 from the 48. Strickler in the gun, has a running back to his left. 2 wide receivers right, one by himself to the left. Kidder takes the snap, hands off to Cooley up the middle again, who tries to reach forward towards the 45-yard line. They'll give him the 45, and that brings up 4th down again.
Jack is one thing. I mean, he's good for at least 4 yards a carry. I mean, he's solid up the middle. He's going to hit that hole hard too.
So just a few moments ago, Big Rapids was helped out on a 4th down conversion by a penalty. Maybe a bit of deja vu, but we're back to 4th and 1 on the 45 in Grant territory. Strickler under center, line up in the same formation with Cooley as a fullback. He takes the snap going towards the line, and this is going to be extremely close. The near line judge to us towards the Big Rapids sideline definitely has him with the 1st down. And the one closer to the pin said that he was maybe a little short, but they will call it a 1st down. So 1st down and 10. Ball now on the 44. Got just enough. 3:20 and the clock rolling down here in the 3rd quarter.
On the near side line judge, man, this guy's a warrior. He's still limping and everything. He's fighting through injury. Gave us a good spot.
Good guy. Seen 2 officials go down this game. Luckily, they're both still here. Strickler takes a snap, throws it across the middle to Austin Bennix, who catches it, reaches forward across the 35 and to the 32, where it'll be a 1st down for Big Rapids. A nice quick RPO there where he saw a man open.
Yeah, and just give the quick fake handoff. You know, it's kind of a rapid fire play action, and then you get that quick pop pass over the middle. The Braden Childress special, good for 10 yards on a 1st down.
1st down and 10 from the 32-yard line, knocking on the door of that Grant red zone, a place where Coach Mike Seltzer said they needed to improve this season. 2.5 minutes left. Strickler takes the snap. He has it himself. He's got some room across the sideline.
Nice
a stiff
stiff
arm at the 30. He steps out at the 25. They'll give him an extra yard at the 24-yard line. That'll get them a yard away from a first down, make it 2nd down and 1.
Boy, it's almost like Will heard me call him small. Right there, you looked a little bigger. Gave Dylan Wemple a good stiff arm to the ground. He had one man to beat, and unfortunately, his receiver on the near side here missed his block entirely.
Yes.
So Wemple had a chance to make a big play on Will. Will able to give the stiff arm, bust off 8 yards. Here we go. I love it.
Strickler in the gun, handoff to Cooley. Has to get just a few to move the chains. And according to the line judge, it looks like he does. No motion to move the chains forward yet, as it looks like they're checking the final spot of this ball.
Just give it to him. Come on. Jack Cooley is an automatic first down.
And it looks like Jack Cooley is down again, so...
No, he's up. My guy's right there.
No, Jack Cooley is up. It looks like a different injury here on this sideline. And once again, the training crew out to look, and it looks like this may be a lineman for Big Rapids.
And that'd be a shame because this line, especially on this drive, has really stepped up for the Cardinals. Plus, a lot of these guys play both sides of the ball.
Looks like maybe by the way they're stretching him out, just a cramp at the moment. At least that's what we're hoping. And it looks like this is River Rahal who's down, the starting right tackle for this Big Rapids team. With 2:20 left in this third quarter. Still a 3-point lead, 17-14.
That would be a shame. He's made himself known on that offensive line in particular. Kind of liking this play call, though, this shift in formation here. Cardinals putting more guys on the line. It's opening up a couple different options for him, including that Braden special over the middle. Man, he was so good at that back in the day, too. He used his money. It was like 12, 15 yards a pop.
And it looks like River Rahal is up on his feet and slowly walking to the sideline under his own power. Always a great sight after a player down on the turf.
I think Jess just goes out there. She's got some kind of like magic wand, gives a little ooga booga, and these guys get up and they're just give them a minute, blow on it, spray some water on it, be all right.
Well, without River Rahal on the field, play will carry on 1st and 10 from the 23, trying to get into that red zone. It's Jamal Strickland split wide right with Justin Gorchevitz in the slot right next to him. Strickler will swing pass it out. Xavier Prince makes a move, gets across the 20, nearly to the 25, and
I think he broke an ankle.
And he did make a slick move upfield, getting past one of those defensive ends.
It was Gage Burrows.
In this case, it was Gage Burrows who is now going to take a breather on the sideline. And he was stretching out for a minute before he got up.
Yeah, I mean, you don't like to... we're not trying to push anyone when they're down or anything like that. But Javi made a nice move on him. That was a good cut. Very quick, low guy is Javi.
2 wide receivers split out both sides. Strickler in the gun. He's got Cooley to his left. And there's a flag thrown, and they will call a false start. The motion from the referee on the far sideline will say that one of the offensive linemen picked up his hand after he came down to a 3-point set and then put it back down, and that is grounds for a false start. So that'll move them back on 2nd down to 2nd down and 9. So a tough penalty there, something that's a little bit mindless when you're getting set for a play. You just have to know once you put that hand down, by no means can it come back up.
And 2nd and 9 is still manageable. What has always killed them, knock on wood here, always killed the Cardinals, is 3rd down penalties like that to make it 3rd and long. So as long as they can rip off a couple yards here, I mean, maybe use Mr. Freeze, they won't.
From the gun, Strickler takes the snap. He's got one man to beat on the outside. He's running. He'll throw across, and it's batted down. Had a man in front of him not too far who just got some hands on it, but he was running for his life from that defensive end. And that's from that right tackle position from River Rahal that's now been replaced recently. haven't got a number on exactly who's in that right tackle position. A lot of times another starting offensive lineman will move over to that spot. But regardless, that brings up 3rd down and 9 after the incompletion with 43 seconds left of the third quarter.
Yeah, actually, you're saying running for his life, but Will is just looking more and more comfortable out there. It's good presence to get to the outside, try to find a receiver.
Takes a snap. He's looking left. He'll have to move himself, get towards the sideline. He throws back towards the middle of the field, towards the end zone, and is caught for a touchdown. Xavier Prince gets in for a Cardinals touchdown.
I tell you what, that is not textbook, but if you're going to make that pass, you throw it there. You throw it to the back line of the end zone so that if anything, it's out of bounds. I mean, he just out of the reach of his receiver. I'll be able to wrangle that in. Oh, that's a huge play for the Cardinals. I think that's a little bit last year. Will, he had his outlet no matter what. That was shades of his JV season last year, where he's under pressure. What's going to happen? You just throw it up to your receiver and he'll make a play. And that was athlete on athlete right there. And thankfully, Javi was able to come away with it, even though that ball went through some traffic. Cardinals are going to take the 1 point here.
Alley on the field. The snap is down. The kick is up, and it does not go through. We only got a signal from one of the officials down there. It obviously is a tough look from up here in the booth, but it does not go through. 23-14, a 9-point lead for Big Rapids with 35 seconds left in this third quarter. I'd like to mention some of the people that were making this broadcast possible for you to listen or watch, or however you're viewing at home, including Williams Family Medical, your local independent family doctor in downtown Big Rapids, accepting new patients. Visit WilliamsFamilyMedical.com for more. Also, Isabella Bank. Since 1903, Isabella Bank has been lending a hand in support of area schools, service, and civic organizations to make our communities a better place to live. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC.
Interesting scoring update from Remus right now. In the third quarter, it looks like the Warriors just scored again. It's 28-20. Warriors mounting a comeback.
So the kick is away from Strickland. It'll roll all the way from the 30 to the 20 and then off the Grant Tiger, and he will be brought down at about the 17-yard line. So a weird kick there that rolled, took a hop, and then took a hop off of a Tiger before it was nearly taken out of bounds. And once again, that was Trevor Lowry on the return for Grant. They will start 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line with 30 seconds left in this third quarter.
Another scoring update here. The Coyotes continuing to rack up points, up 56-33 over Newaygo. And looks like we got the Mohawks up 44-18 over Lakeview.
1st and 10, and as the snap comes back, flags thrown, and the play called dead.
Was it the shot that was bad or the kick that was bad or both?
Likely be against Grant here. And they will move back, so a false start will move them back to 1st down and 15. So it'll be 1st down and 15 from about the 13-yard line with 30 seconds to go in this third quarter. It's a 23-14 Cardinals lead. Pretty nice Friday night. The wind, at least from the looks of up here, has died down a bit. It was 73 degrees when we started this game. It's gone down to 70, but it's pretty clear. So after the false start, it's 1st down and 15. They'll mark him at the 14-yard line. Keelan will take the snap and drop back immediately. He's rushed by about 3 or 4 Cardinals. He'll throw towards the sideline. And the biggest factor there was making sure to get it back to that line of scrimmage, or else you're going to get another intentional grounding penalty. And that he did. Had a man running a flat towards his sideline, was able to get it out of bounds. 2nd down and 15.
I mean, if you're Coach Garrity, you got to start throwing your hands up here, because you got all kinds of pressure coming from Coach Seltzer, and your guy doesn't have a chance. Look
The
at this.
snap, and it will be a quarterback keeper. Keelan gets it across the 15, and a good tackle there made by the run support from the secondary, and more specifically Jamal Strickland. As the clock is ticking down, just 10 seconds till this third quarter is over. That brings up third down and about 11 to go. And that will be the last play of this third quarter. We'll take a break along with the teams as they switch sides of the field. 23-14, Cardinals over the Tigers here on Big Country 100.9.
Auto Owners Insurance and the Schuberg Insurance Agency is a winning combination. We'll work for you to insure your home, auto, business, and life. To keep everything you value safe, sound, and secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Call the Schuberg Insurance Agency, located in downtown Big Rapids today, for a fast, free quote. 231-796-5881. Go Cards!
Big Rapids hosting Grant on this Friday night. Week 4 of MHSAA play, and both teams looking to rack up their second win of the season now, both in different ways, but still searching for that second win. Win 1 for Big Rapids came just a week ago, last Friday, when they beat Chip Hills by scoring 20 in the fourth quarter, and were able to mount a comeback victory and move up to 1-2 on the season. Now trying to get back to 500 against a Grant team that hasn't played since week 1, missed 2 weeks because of trying to clear up some cases that happened in their school system, and now they're back on the field and losing by a couple scores to Big Rapids.
It does kind of look like they are running out of some gas here too. So the Cardinals, they just got to keep the pressure on them. Don't let them get back into a rhythm. I mean, these kids are athletes. Grant, we've seen that. You got a couple of these guys. Isaiah Powell can do a lot of damage, bruising up the middle in particular. But they've gotten him out on the outsides on maybe a screen pass or something like that. But just don't let Brendan Keeling get comfortable at all. Right now he is very uncomfortable. Keep that pressure up. Do not let him get comfortable. I mean, this kid looks primed to make a comeback. So just you gotta keep it on him.
He's really been the only one to break the line of scrimmage in the second half.
It's remarkable what he's even done, because he's essentially played this game without an offensive line. No offense, but.
So from the gun, Keelan looking deep. He's got a man open, a few steps, and it's completed across the 50. And there's Xander Prince to make the tackle as he brings him down across the 40-yard line.
That one up.
And a huge tackle, a snap from the shotgun, a 3-step drop, and a heave down the left sideline that ends in a long completion. And all of a sudden, Grant is in Big Rapids territory, first down and 10 from the 38-yard line.
Well, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Brett Long caught that ball in stride, had his man beat. Great recognition by Keeling to let that ball fly like that. But, right as soon as I dog him, that offensive line stepped up right there, gave Keeling a chance.
And Keelan, from the option, is able to pitch to his man outside. That's Lowry. He's got a couple to beat on the outside. And he's able to get near the line of scrimmage again, not much more or more less. Some good pursuit there. Justin Korchevich trying to make a tackle, along with Xavier Prince trying to get him pushed out of bounds, and he will actually lose a little bit of yardage on that play, just 1 yard. It's second down and 11 from the 39-yard line. Ran out of bounds and stopped the clock at 11:28 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I mean, that play really hasn't been there all day. So you got to wonder, is Garrity setting something else up, or they're going to try to take another deep shot here? I probably would have just done it right there, just go back to back.
Snap, handoff up the middle. That's Evans, who trucks forward across the 35. Mark him down at about the 33, 34-yard line. Brings up third down at about mid-range. Third down and 6. Clock ticking down towards 11 left in this game. 23-14. You'd like a nice stop with your back against the end zone here if you're Big Rapids. They've shown a lot of resiliency tonight. A few issues with some passing plays, but if they keep it on the ground, there's no way they're getting this past Big Rapids. Keelan from the gun takes the snap. Fakes the handoff, and he loses the ball on the ground. and it looks like he may have jumped on his own fumble there, and it will stay at the line of scrimmage. So that brings up 4th down and 6. And if you're Grant, that's the last thing you wanted right there. If you're Big Rapids, you're pretty happy about how that worked out.
Yeah, it's a freebie for the Cardinals. I guess I'm a little perplexed with Coach Garrity here, because go back to the air. I mean, why not take some end zone shots here? Evans is pretty unstoppable in the middle. I'll give him that. I mean, so just run it to him. He got a little cute on that play call, I think. Either just run it to Evans up the middle, or go deep again. Go for the end zone.
A little trouble with the snap, but it's just a pass outside,
nice.
And he heard the footsteps come, and it was Jack Cooley who was in pursuit of Evans, who was just running a little swing, and he could not catch the pass. So that's a turnover on downs after what looks like a start to a promising drive with a streak down the left sideline that got them all the way into Big Rapids territory, and all of a sudden it's a turnover on downs, and here comes Will Strickler in the Big Rapids offense.
That was the coolest player of the game right there. Jack Cooley, man, just putting everything on ice. But I just don't, I guess I don't really understand that. It might be Coach Garrity overthinking it or something. I would go right back to the air. Just bomb a couple more of them, see if your receivers can win it.
1st down and 10 from the 35 is a quick swing pass to Xavier Prince on the left side, who can't quite haul that one in. Goes right off of his hands. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
And we've seen it a few times. We saw it when he almost picked the ball off. Javi just gets a little bit too excited. Coach Doherty and I talk about it all the time in baseball. You got to make the first play before you go to the second play. You can't field the ball when you're already looking to second base to turn the double play, right? You got to field the ball to get to second base. Javi's got to make that catch before he goes upfield. He was trying to do both simultaneously.
2nd down and 10 from the 35-yard line. 9:57 left in the game. Snap after the motion, and it will be a quarterback keeper for Strickler. He's got some blocking, slips through a hole, and is tripped up just shy of the 40-yard line. Mark him down at the 39. That brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, that was a nice tackle. Who was that? Reed Williams, maybe? No. Yeah, maybe. Reed Williams. That was a nice shoestring tackle to get Will. He was trying to give a stiff arm, but Williams was able to nab him and take him down anyway. That play, I gotta say, both teams keep calling that play, and it's worked like once all game on both sides. Go to the air.
Well, Big Rapids looking for at least 6 yards here with 3rd down facing them.
Jamal.
3rd and 6 from the 39-yard line. 9 minutes left in the game. 23-14. Big Rapids leads. Prince in motion from left to right in an early snap. Strickler not knowing what to do, trying to pass downfield, and it's picked off. Going down the left sideline, it's Orion Evans who makes a move and gets around a lineman and falls forward towards the 10-yard line. And there's a flag back near the 30, maybe some blocking after the interception from Grant. And you could tell that was a broken play that Will Strickler was trying to make something out of.
That was a broken play. I actually think, though, there was some defensive holding or pass interference or something, but it doesn't look like that's the call. Will just cannot make that pass. Throw it out of bounds. You got the lead. You don't have to get this 1st down.
Well, whatever it is, the ball will be moving back because the chain gang getting ready to move backwards, whether it's a holding after the interception or something really before the interception, that's more than likely moving forward.
It is Grant ball. I don't really know the signal that the ref made. It looked like he stood there, pointed to Grant, and then gave them possession. But
well,
let's see.
A tough interception there for Strickler. One that he probably should have just taken some loss of yards on in a game like this, or just trying to get it out of bounds. The line did a great job of, obviously, they knew it was a pass play, but a premature snap, not having anybody downfield, and a quarterback scrambling to look for an option turned into an interception.
And that's just more situational awareness. Will's just got to know he has the lead. It's okay. Throw the ball away.
Keelan passes left, a little bubble screen, and a flag.
Like that?
And Austin Venix gets up clapping, maybe looking for some holding on the furthest wide receiver out.
And kind of going back to the flag on the pick, I think it was just a block in the back. think the smooth, sultry voice of Mark Brecka let me know that.
And it will be a holding on Grant. So they get the ball back after an interception, which looks like they were going to start at almost the 10-yard line. They get a holding or some sort of penalty on the interception return. Now they get a holding and brings them back to about 1st and 20. So they started at nearly the 10-yard line in Big Rapids territory. Now they're back at their own 44-yard line. 8:40 on the clock and ticking down in this fourth quarter. It's 23-14, Cardinals leading the Tigers. Grant has a wide receiver split out on each side. Now move a man to the slot. Keelan has a running back to his right, puts a man in motion from left to right, takes the snap, hands it off. It's left side. That's Lowry with the carry. He's brought down shy of the 50. They'll mark him close to the 49-yard line. Brings up 2nd down. So 2nd and 13 to go from the 49. 8 minutes left in the game. The biggest opponent here right now for Grant is that clock. They haven't been able to move. Both possessions they've had this half or this quarter have been turnovers on downs.
Well, and the Cardinals have just controlled the clock pretty much this entire game, so I'm not really sure why you don't necessarily need to be in hurry-up offense, but let's pick it up a little bit.
And a fumbled snap, and there is Austin Manecki, who gets back there to make the tackle.
No. That's just a sack lunch right there. Boy, just a free and clear path to the quarterback. Keelan had dropped the ball. He was trying to fumble and pick it back up, and he just had no chance. Excellent job, though, by the Cardinals.
Was that pan too rough or no?
Put a clamp on that. I mean, now it's 3rd and infinity.
It is 3rd down and 20 run from the 41-yard line. 7 minutes left in this game. 23-14.
On that last
Cardinals
replay.
leading, and you'd have to think that best case scenario here for Big Rapids, another turnover on downs. Couple of hard counts, and there's easily a false start on the right side of that Grant line. The play is called dead, and this will move back even further.
This here, too, is probably a product of Grant just not being able to get together as a team for the last 2 weeks. I mean, right now, when it comes down under pressure, when there's no pressure, we got plenty of time, we can always come back and everything. You usually keep your head on straight, but now that there's some pressure to kind of get going and all that, these kids just have not been able to rehearse as much as the team should. So you don't want to make excuses for anyone, but that's what I'm going to peg this on. You got to give them a little bit of a sympathy card here. But if you're the Cardinals, put the game away.
Even some parts of their practice this week meeting virtually for Grant. Here's a quarterback keeper off the read, and he's stopped shy of the 40-yard line. That brings up 4th down and about 25 to go after just a 1-yard gain.
When they do that,
very
that fake
confused
pass
on some of
thing,
this
it's
play call
confusing
here,
too.
unless that was a read by the quarterback to run. But why not air it out with Keelan? I mean, he's shown more than a few times that he can heave one up 30-plus yards. I mean, and at that down right there, why not?
Well, Grant had this ball with nearly 8 minutes left. Actually, a little bit more than that. There's 5.5 minutes left on the clock in this fourth quarter. As the punt is a line drive away towards Prince, who lets it roll past him and
get away.
Getting extremely close to that ball before it's picked up at the 10-yard line.
I didn't get that one.
The kid is giving me anxiety. Get away from
And I
the
think
ball.
he also may be giving head coach Mike Seltzer some anxiety there too, is during his walk to the sideline, maybe a bit of a coaching moment there, trying to keep him away from the ball.
If he decided when that ball was kind of on its angle down towards him, he wasn't going to catch it, get away. Like, just run to the sideline. Run to the parking lot. Go anywhere. He got way too close to that ball. That was like the exact play I referenced earlier in this game, where the ball like touches someone's toe, and then the defense pops on it, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Well,
no harm, no foul, though.
Will Strickler and the Big Rapids offense will take over at their own 10-yard line, 1st and 10. 5:25 left on the clock. Strickler takes the snap, handoff up the middle, and that is Jack Cooley, who doesn't get very far, actually loses maybe about 6 inches. Brings up 2nd down and about 10.
Yeah, that one wasn't as cool, but that's all right.
5 minutes left of the clock in this 4th quarter. 23-14, still the lead for Big Rapids. Getting off to a good start in this game, and a little both teams on offense, really, besides the one touchdown from Strickler to Xavier Prince with 35 seconds left in that 3rd quarter. But really not a ton going on offensively in the second half. Have to give a big credit to how really big the Cardinals started this game. Handoff outside. Gorchevitz has some room, gets across to the 15, where he's brought down by a couple of Tigers. And that brings up 3rd down.
That's a good job by Justin right there, too, not to let them ride him out of bounds. Just cut up field, take whatever yards you got. Right now, if you're Big Rapids, you are not trying to necessarily score. You'll take it if it comes to you, but you're just trying to eat up clock, stay in bounds, let that clock burn. Like you said, that's the Tigers' biggest adversary right now is the clock, other than themselves and penalties, you could say. But
4 minutes flat on the clock here in the 4th quarter, and Strickler back in the gun. Has Gorchevitz to his right, has Prince in motion from right to left, takes the snap, and there is some false start or some early movement from Big Rapids, and they'll be moving back to 3rd and 9 instead of a 3rd and 4. So Will Strickler has come out and had a heck of a game so far. Touchdowns to Price, Jamal Strickland. Big thanks to Jamal Strickland on that play from Will Strickler. His ball was underthrown, but same outcome.
Well, and same with Javi. Javi catching both those guys. I mean, they had to catch the ball going through a lot of traffic. Great concentration. It's just athletes right there.
Prince in motion from right to left, and Strickler will take it himself. He has to make a move, and he is brought down hard at about the 5-yard line, and we haven't seen him take many hits like that tonight. He gets up a bit slower from that, but they're just really trying to drain this clock down right now. As the clock has stopped, and it will be a timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout along with the teams. 23-14, the lead for the Cardinals. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Your car's transmission. It can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. One day you're cruising along without a care in the world. The next day your car is about as mobile as a big old hog on a hot summer day. Thankfully, the Napa certified techs at Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids specialize in fixing and rebuilding transmissions. They'll make sure your car runs so smooth you'd think it was a pickup line from Patrick Swayze. Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids, Northland Drive, just north of the airport. Schedule your appointment online at parisautosalesbr.net.
On the clock in the 4th quarter, it's 23-14. Cardinals leading the Tigers. Riley Edwards, Jeff Scarpelli with the call of the game for you. Back at the boards is Braden Childress. Then on our Facebook live stream is Caitlin Orm. 23-14 the score. A lot of those, 17 of those points scored in the first half. And the Big Rapids Cardinals have to be thinking about how well they played that first half and really helping them get to this victory if they can clock off the last 3 minutes. Punt from their own end zone, bounces across the 35, and another good return here as he gets across the 30, bounces forward to nearly the 25-yard line. So once again, another energetic return by Isaiah Powell.
Yeah, and good hands. I mean, football is not easy to catch when it's bouncing. And he just snagged that right out of the air on a weird bounce. Gave some kind of return for the Tigers, and now they're knocking on the door. If they could get a quick strike here, they might be in a decent position to mount a comeback. Which is exactly what you don't want, the Cardinals.
Well, a quick score here forces Big Rapids to get that ball back and have to move on this Grant defense, which hasn't been the easiest in this 4th quarter. So 3:03 on the clock. Keelan in the gun has his running back behind him, has a tight end and a couple wide receivers left. He's looking left, has a man open, and his tight end is able to move forward across the 20 and just shy of a first down by maybe a yard. Brings up second down, and a big catch there by Elliott Butchert.
Well, Butchert significantly bigger than Xander Prince, so that's a big pat on the back to Xander right there to just wrap him up and take him to the ground. And you know that Butchert saw that as soon as he turned around, and instead of trying to make a move, get to the outside, and maybe go for the end zone, he tried to just blast Xander out of this ballpark. Xander stood his ground, took him to the ground, made the tackle.
It's second down and 2 from the 17-yard line. Keelan looking. Now coming back left, trying to move up through the pocket, and
Nice.
it's a sack and a big tackle there by Alec Bowman.
The juice is loose. Oh, I love this guy.
Alec Bowman, a junior on this team, mainly making his appearances for the Cardinals at linebacker, and he came up there, shot the right gap, and was able to catch a scrambling Keelan for a loss, and more importantly, a sack.
That's right. The juice, man. He's loose. Bowman, great player. He's been a little quiet tonight until that play, but he's a great athlete.
Third down and 8. Keelan takes a snap. Is being rushed from his left. Now his right. Gets out of the pocket, puts his head down, and trucks a Cardinal, and is only going to get 1 yard out of that. Actually, he'll lose a yard out of that, and that brings up 4th down and 9.
Man, I don't know if that was a little bit of frustration or something. Again, he tried to use the crown of his helmet to bowl over Eric standing there. Eric was having none of it. Took him to the ground.
And Grant will take another timeout here with 1 minute and 31 seconds left. 23-14, still the lead for Big Rapids over Grant.
And you got to kind of feel for Brennan Keeling right here because, I mean, he's got no chance to set up and throw a ball. Immediately the second he gets that snap, he has at least 2 Cardinals in his face. So he's got to scramble and try to survive and everything like that. You know, he doesn't even have a chance to make a throw downfield.
Does not have a ton of time, whether it's a linebacker, defensive lineman, defensive back. Someone's always there in his face to make a difference. Well, some of the people making a difference for us on this broadcast, Bader & Sons Company at greentractors.com, outstanding in their field with sales of new and used John Deere farm and lawn equipment, parts, certified service technicians, plus brands like Steel and Air Rents. Also, Johnson's Automotive Repair, always reliable. Johnson serves the community with honesty and integrity. Northland Drive, just south of the airport, Big Rapids. So in the middle of a timeout here from Top Taggart Field, it's a 23-14 lead for Big Rapids, and this down right here can seal it. 4th down and 9 from the 24. If Grant doesn't get this, all hope is lost.
Yeah, that's the game. The way the Cardinals have eaten up the clock, 4 downs is going to take an eternity.
So from the pistol, Keelan takes a snap. He's looking right towards the end zone. It's
Nice!
Intercepted down the left sideline at the 20. He steps out, and there's a big interception by Justin Gorchevich to get the ball back to Big Rapids. It really wouldn't have mattered. If you ask Coach Seltzer there, he probably wants him to swat it down because the yardage is just a little bit more if you let it be incomplete. But in the eyes of a defensive back, you want to put an extra check mark under that INT section.
Oh, absolutely. And he made that look easy. He made that look like he was the intended target. If you're Justin, you got to, let's just be real. You got to take that, right? I mean, you got a clear shot to pick a ball off and give it a little bit of a return. He read that immediately. Cardinals take over. I would expect with only 1 timeout left for Grant that's probably going to be the ball game. They can put this one on ice. I don't know, maybe use Jack Coolidge, put it on ice.
So a penalty during the return puts it back to the 10-yard line. That's where Will Strickler and this offense will take over 1st and 10. Just 1 timeout left for Grant, and the play ran straight up the middle as Will Strickler is taking his fair share of beatings. I'm sure just happy to hand that one up the middle.
Well, and even handing it off, he still took a shot. Yeah, he's a little bit banged up. Boy, that handoff too was late. They're lucky that they didn't drop that ball. Got a scoring update. Looks like the Packers are putting that one to bed. in Remus, 42-26 in the fourth. Fremont leads. And then quite the defensive standoff in Reed City. Reed City 64, Newaygo 40. A 104-point game going in Reed City right now.
A lot of scoring across the CSAA Gold as Strickler takes a knee and the clock will keep rolling.
This is right too. Don't even risk it. You know, this is the best thing that Coach Seltzer could do. Will has played a great game. He's taken a couple hits. You know, don't take any risk. Yep, just ice the game. That's a solid win for the Cardinals.
And both teams having players meet at midfield and telling each other good game as they go to their sidelines. That'll be it. So Big Rapids reaches 500. They get back to 2-2 on the season with a 23-14 victory over Grant. We have a lot coming up in this post-game report coming up next. We'll take a 3-minute break and we'll be back to analyze the game and give you some extras about this week and maybe even next week right here on Big Country 100.9.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Auto Owners Insurance and the Schuberg Insurance Agency is a winning combination. We'll work for you to insure your home, auto, business, and life. To keep everything you value safe, sound, and secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Call the Schuberg Insurance Agency, located in downtown Big Rapids today, for a fast, free quote. 231-796-5881. Go Cards.
They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but they were wrong.
I can't believe my car's struck by lightning twice. Now it doesn't start again.
Thankfully, the NEPA-certified techs at Johnson's Automotive in Big Rapids can fix electrical systems and starters, so our hero can get back on the road quickly.
Wow, it's almost like a total recall. Thankfully, I don't have to be a running man anymore.
Johnson's Automotive, fixing all foreign and domestic vehicles. Northland Drive, just south of the airport, Big Rapids.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
Not everyone learns best in a classroom or has the time or resources to attend a school. If you're one of those people, the Big Rapids Virtual School is your path to graduate high school. The virtual school uses new and emerging technologies, allowing students to work towards their diploma anytime, any place, any way, and any pace. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week, students can access class materials, listen to lectures, complete assignments. Plus, the lab is available 39 hours per week where students can work and ask teachers for help. For more information about Big Rapids Virtual School,
your car's transmission. It can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. One day you're cruising along without a care in the world. The next day your car is about as mobile as a big old hog on a hot summer day. Thankfully, the NAPA certified techs at Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids specialize in fixing and rebuilding transmissions. They'll make sure your car runs so smooth you'd think it was a pickup line from Patrick Swayze. Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids, Northland Drive, just north of the airport. Schedule your appointment online at parisautosales.br.net.
Hey, everybody! Harry Carey here for Talk Trash. Our first guest is Ben from Sam's Disposal. So Ben, why haven't you raised your rates in over 10 years? It seems to be all the rage now.
Well, Mr. Carey, that's a great question. You see, my father Sam always said...
Sam? Now that's a great name. I once knew a man named Sam Toothpick Jones. They called him Toothpick because he was curious like a cat. Say, have you ever seen the movie Son of Sam?
Yeah, actually...
It is a great show. Well, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Hey, Hey, Ben, tell me, how do you stay in business with flat rates without any hidden fees? Seems like all your competitors always stick it to you when you don't see it coming.
Now that's another great question, Harry.
Well, that's the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us, Ben, with Sam's Disposal. It sounds like a swell company. Do you pick up in heaven? I might have to give you a call. See you next time for Talk Trash, folks. Don't forget to call Sam at 796-2952. Cubs win. Cubs win.
This just out, the average age of a vehicle on the road today is just over 11 years. That's impressive because it takes regular maintenance and solid repair work to keep a vehicle running well that long. At Quality Car and Truck Repair, that's what we do. We keep vehicles running their best for as long as possible. We're still changing oil, performing regular maintenance, and doing repairs on vehicles much older than that. Keep your vehicle in shape. Call Quality Car and Truck Repair, 220th Avenue and Perry, just west of 131, Big Rapids.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Williams. I just opened a new family practice clinic, Williams Family Medical. I see all types of patients from birth to geriatrics. I came back to Big Rapids because I grew up in Big Rapids. I have roots here, my family is here, my parents are here, and I feel really strongly about serving this community. I originally thought I was going to be a physical therapist. I had looked at being a pharmacist, and then I realized as I looked into those programs that nothing held my attention the way that medicine did, of being the doctor. And being able to go to an area like Big Rapids, where I've worked in other rural health clinics, and being the doctor in a small area is a great way to serve the community. But there's also an intimacy that you get when you're somebody's doctor and you know them, and you know their family, and you know their history. It's a good way to make friends, you know? I am Dr. Rachel Williams. I opened a family medicine clinic here in downtown Big Rapids. You can call us at 616-570-4776. Find us on Facebook with Williams Family Medical or online williamsfamilymedical.com.
This is Cardinal Country. We have Josie Prince, joined by Braden Childress, Coach Ian James of Ferris State Softball.
Players, coaches, alumni. Coach Scarpelli gets the inside scoop on all things Big Rapids sports.
We get to go to my favorite sport. You decided you want to come out for baseball. So why did you want to come out for baseball senior year?
To be honest, because we lost to New City last game of basketball. So I couldn't go out with an L to them on my belt. Then that moves forward to my favorite game in baseball would be against them when I hit that home run.
Yep.
Their players were talking mess, which I didn't know people talk mess in baseball, but the players were talking mess to me, and I came out and hit a home run. So
watch Cardinal Country on Big Country's YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. Download the podcast at WBRN.com, at Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. Cardinal Country is proudly sponsored by Johnson's Automotive, serving the area with honesty and integrity.